amar libi, bakshufanai, bakshufanai. Lach amar libi, bakshufanai, bakshufanai. Lach amar libi, bakshufanai, bakshufanai. Lach amar libi, bakshufanai, bakshufanai. Et panaich havaya avakesh rachamar libi bakshufanai lachamar libi bakshufanai bakshufanai. Boker Tov, good morning. It is a humidish, kind of strange weather feeling day. It is not cold, it is not too hot, but it is humid. So when I think about humidity, I think about even people with super straight hair like mine get some sort of interestingness to the hair. When I think about humidity, I think about how uncomfortable we feel when we are sweaty. When I think about humidity, I think about, leaving boxes on your porch or getting packages, deliveries to your home, and they're sitting outside all day, and then the cardboard feels kind of wet. When I think about humidity, I think about what about those people that are living on the streets using cardboard boxes as blockades for beds and things, and how the moisture gets caught up in that. When I think about humidity, I think about the gratitude we have for the grass, for the trees, for the drought that is. When I think about humidity, I think about the moisture that is something that hopefully protects against fire. But what does that have to do with this moment? What is fire or humidity? Not necessarily humidity, but what about fire? Today is Lag BaOmer. So it started last night, but if you're in Israel, it really was midday yesterday. Whatever it is. Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer. It is a minor holiday, but it is worth our couple of moments of lifting it up and understanding it better. During the Omer period, that period of the second day of Pesach to Shavuot, it's a 49-day period. It's 7 weeks of 7 days between those two. And it's said that the Omer is a period for us to figure ourselves out better, to have a better understanding of ourselves, to deepen our spirituality, to be ready to receive Torah, all the things that we know about the Omer. But something that we don't really talk about is the Omer is one of these periods of time that is semi-mourning. It's not a celebratory time. However, Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer, is this place of pause. And there's different reasons why we celebrate them. For the religious amongst us, this is the only time during that 49-day period that people get haircuts or have weddings. But it's also a time of lighting bonfires and barbecues and things like that. But that's not why we celebrate. That's not why we get a haircut. That's not why we have a bonfire. That's not why we're out having barbecues and celebrating and having a great time. In the religious community or tradition says that during this period of semi-mourning, where there's no weddings and there's no celebrations because they're forbidden, though we know this is like wedding season. But observant Jews don't get married on these days. They don't celebrate. They find places of grief. They don't cut their hair, similar to when somebody dies, they don't shave their beards or get a haircut. There are some theories that say that people have similar periods of restraint in the early spring, symbolizing their concern for the growth of their crops. But the most often cited understanding or teaching explanation of Lag BaOmer comes from Talmud, which says that during the season, a plague killed thousands of Rabbi Akiva's students. Why? Because they didn't treat each other with respect. When we think about Jews in the world, humans for sure, but specifically Jews, when we think about how we try to live our lives, regardless of if we're the most liberal or ultra-Orthodox, the goal is to do as many mitzvot as you can. Follow the commandments to your best of your ability, whatever works for you, but also in the loose understanding or definition, which is to do good deeds, to be a good human, right? That's all we try to do. We strive in a place where no one's acting human, strive to be that, human. So all of these students were studying Talmud, they were studying Torah, they were studying under Rabbi Akiva, and yet they were horrific to one another. A plague came and killed thousands of them. No, I don't believe in a punishing God, but okay, this is what tradition teaches. But more importantly than all of these commandments and all of this Torah learning and knowledge that they were getting and making it part of their own, that they were owning it, was the fact that they didn't get the most important mitzvah, which was being able to treat the one next to you with respect. So the mourning behavior is presumably in memory of those students and their severe punishment. Lag BaOmer became a happy day, a day to interrupt the sadness of this period of mourning during the Omer, where all of these students were killed. So what is it that we do? What is our connection to this? Well, there's another teaching, a mystical interpretation of the Omer as a time of spiritual cleansing, preparing to receive the Torah. This is what we talk about. This is the way we look at the Omer. The time where we look at the Sfirot, the divine connections or attributes of oneness that ultimately leads us on this journey, on this spiritual pursuit of betterment. So we're not sure. Where did Lag BaOmer become this minor holiday? I'm not sure. But Lag BaOmer reminds us that, you know what? Even in the midst of mourning, even in the midst of upheaval, even in the midst of forgetting that our neighbors are most important, not our literal neighbors, our people, other humanity, other humans in the world. If you are, I don't care what kind of scholar you are, I don't care if you follow all 613 commandments, but if you're not a good person, well, then you've defied all of them, and you might as well not keep any of them, in my opinion. But there are some authorities that attribute the joy of Lag BaOmer to the belief that manna, that food substance that fell from the sky, first appeared on the 18th day of Iyar, which is Lag BaOmer. And so it's to celebrate as a reminder of the battles of those students of Rabbi Akiva. It is the reminder that says, bring light into the world with a bonfire, with a barbecue. But remind yourself that we need not only the fire, which provides us the light and the warmth and the strength, but we also need to remind ourselves that we need the humidity. We need the balance between the fire and the mist. We need the balance so that the fire shouldn't become too raging and ravishing, but instead we need that which is the humidity that keeps us. It's not the puffing up, it's the ability to balance between the two. We need the moisture and we need the heat, but we need them together. On this 33rd day of the Omer, Hod Sheba Hod, the presence within the presence, a resting place within the 49 days of the Omer, a moment to pause, a day to stop and notice where we are on this journey, to take a deep breath, to give thanks for everything that has brought you to this moment. Psalm 33 on day 33 says, the way forward is clear and everything unfolds in faith. Dear friends, it is great to be with you this morning. Geneva and Reb Tova, Bet, Suze, Linda, Elisa, Rabbi Jay. Today we will be in person tonight at 7 p.m. We hope that we'll see you in person. And if we're not seeing you in person, we know we're going to see you right here. We are grateful that we continue to be in this pattern together, that we are learning together, that we're showing up for one another. On Lag BaOmer, let us remember to take a deep breath, to realize, you know what? We're just on this journey. And the most important part of it is to do as many mitzvot as you can, but not at the expense of another human. To make sure that we put tradition first, however, that we realize that our tradition teaches us to love one another. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you. Let's find the balance between fire and water today. Shabbat Shalom and early Shabbat Shalom. Although we're allowed to say that from Wednesday on, I wish you all that you need on this Shabbat. And we'll see you tonight at 7. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 O Ravinu Chai.